everyone, welcome back to another card making tutorial. Today we're gonna do a little snail mail card, which is the cute set, Happy Snail Trails. I think the set is already sold out, at least with the dies, but I think you can still get it without the dies. So if that's the case, I will link it down below. And yes, sadly, so this month will complete my ongoing 15 years with Close to My Heart as a maker. You will still see me using Close to My Heart papers and everything in the future because I still have quite a bit and we keep using it. The stems are nice, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's more about techniques and give you ideas on what you can do. And everything else, we will see what's coming next month. So for this month, we still stay in the same frame with the same materials, and then we go from there. All right, so let's keep going. So this is our card class set number 1. And just to give you an idea, so everything is in your little package if you have it at home. This is the inside, so I stamped a couple of those cute little snails on the inside too and colored them in. And naturally, you can color them in with markers, with pencils, watercolor pencils, whatever you prefer. I use our Colorista pencils, and I limited the color scheme, but you can use whatever you want. Same goes for the papers. So this is kind of like some of our mix-in papers. And these are about 2 square inches that I just simply cut with the Cricut. If you have the dies, you can use a die for it. This one is, I have to look it up, I think it's around 3 inches square. And then these little guys are all raised. Everything else is flat on the card. All right. So let's go ahead. So I already stamped the inside here, so you don't have to watch me stamping, but I promise we will do a stamping video at one point in time. Now that we have more time to do more techniques and stuff too. So let's see where this will take us. So here we have our little guys that I still have to color in. And like I said, these ones are cut with the Cricut. There are 2-inch squares with a scalloped edge. And this is a retired color called Thistle, and this is I think Bashful, the pink, but you can use any colors you have. Same goes for the background. So the centerpiece is 3 inches by 4 inches, and then we have 2 pieces. They're the same size. They're 1.5 by 4. All right, and then we have our centerpiece. Let's not forget that one. That's 3 inches square. And I already stamped the You've Got Mail on here. Plus, I used one of our brushes and the flamingo ink to give it just a little bit backdrop. But you can use any ink you have. Whatever you want to do is fine. This is just an idea, and use what you have. All right, so let's make sure our card is the right way around. And we will start adhering. So I like to adhere my sides first, and they are adhered so you have a little nice even spacing around the piece. So that's what I'm gonna do first. If you have a Versamat, use it. You can line it up perfectly there, or if you're good with eyeballing, eyeball it. That's usually what I do for these card projects. With my pages, it's a little bit different. Oops, because those need to be sometimes spent over a longer distance, the 12 inches, and you don't want them to be crooked. All right, so I'm just making sure that I have a somewhat even spacing around here. And then we do the other one. And if you guys want to know what is going on, since Close to My Heart will be closing, so you still have, if you're a VIP member, one of mine or any other watching this video, I recommend using your cash credits now, because literally products are flying out the door. I mean, we still, believe it or not, getting products in-house, which is amazing. But then we're not in bankruptcy, we're just closing doors. So they're still getting some products in, but not many. So make sure now it's the time to get what you maybe always wanted and use your credit for it. Other than that, things will be gone soon. And then comes May, pretty much there's only whatever is left. So this will be centered here, and I know mine is a little bit short, so I'm gonna just space it out evenly. That's fine. So May will come around and you will, whatever is left, they will liquidate. But my contract with Close to My Heart will cease on April 30th. So this one, we're gonna put about here, and then we can just add our 2 pieces down here. That's looking good. So let's start with this one here. So yeah, it's sad to see this company go. And as of Stampin' Up, I have not made my decision yet. I got my invitation, and I know there are still, so if you're a current customer or a maker, you will be able to purchase Close to My Heart papers all the way through, I think, October. There will be some workshops, paper packs released every month starting in May. Not by the first, sometime in May. It's you know, depending on when the material comes in, and it's not that easy. But there will be something for us. There will be no preview period or anything. It's just gonna be released. Paper packs, there might be even some new ink colors in, so there will be a few ink pads coming. But we just have to take it month by month and see what will be in the goodies. And then there's one for June, July, and August, or August, September, I think. And then they will start their own papers towards the end of the year. But all this is kind of like in, you know, limbo, depending on how fast they can be produced. So bear with me, and we will see how we're going. So yeah, the sign up might be still, at least for that time, to see that we can get some of those products that Close to My Heart already had ordered. And then I will have to see what the policies are to make business. They still are evaluating things. They were already in the process of changing some of their own policies due to the market change and everything. But now that we're in the mix, it's gonna be even a little bit more diversified. So wait and see. All right, so I'm just gonna start with the green here, and as you can see, I just lightly colored in my shell, and then I go a little bit on the bottom here where it's darker, where it's a little bit shadier, and the rest I just leave as is. Here we have our little grass, so let's do the grass a little bit darker, and then we can use the brown. The brown goes for the stems. So here's the thing, if you have these pencils at home, this one I just sharpened, so it's got a very pointy point, and when you use them first, they might give you some really strong streaks of color. So if you want to avoid it, just use a scrap paper and flatten it out a little bit, so you have a little softer edge to color in. Or you have to be very careful, so either or. So her body is brown or light brown. Like I said, whatever you want to color her in, that's fine. I'm usually going like in little circles to avoid any streaks. And I'm really lightly just holding my pencil and coloring it in. You don't want to push too hard at the beginning. I will go over here and then now come in and go a little bit shading. So on the bottom here, the tail. But you don't want to push too hard right away, because then you might get a line that you don't want to. And I think this is good here. Now let's take the darker brown and we do all little spots. And I think I went over these guys here, just on one side a little bit. And if you want to, we can actually do maybe the underside of these here in the darker brown. I played around with my colors, so they're a little bit different on the original one, but that's fine. And then I use the lighter one to blend them out. Okay, then we're gonna use, or I used, this is, it looks like orange, it's azalea. So it's like a mix of orange, peachy, and again trying to find my flat spot here and lightly color in the entire mushroom. And I do this with all three. And then I had this little guy here. Light coloring here, a little bit darker here on top, maybe. And then we have this one here, which will be a little bit darker on the bottom. Should do this one on the bottom too, because that's where the shade is. On top it's usually lighter. That's okay. So, and just to get it darker, I just push a little bit harder with my pencil and then go lightly over the seam that I build up. Okay. Okie doke. And then we have our little body here. So this one again, I just apply lightly the color all over. And then I go in, push a little bit harder to get a little bit more darker color on the bottom, and maybe around the edges here where the shell hits the snail. Snake. No, snail. All right, so this looks good. It's not supposed to be a masterpiece. You're just coloring, give it a little bit life. I mean, you can use them black and white, but they look so much cuter when you be able to give them a little bit coloring. All right, same thing here. We go for a little bit darker on the bottom and lighter on the top. These ones. All right, and then this one here. So what I did was I went like halfway from one side to the center, and I just do little strokes here with a darker color. And I know you will see this pretty drastically right now, but don't worry, we go back over it. So this is when you just put two colors down at the same time, and then I just go over with the azalea color again and smoothen the center part out here a little bit. It's the same principle like when you color in with your alcohol markers or other markers that you blend. And the key is not to push too hard at the beginning. All right, so this is all colored in. Our little heart, I use this little glitter pen here to color in the heart. And while this is drying, we can add some foam adhesive on the back. If I can find mine. I guess I already packed it. Yes, so well prepared. So I'm just opening a new one. I'm using them up anyway, so no problem. All right. Let's start with our little mushrooms here. And they don't need a lot of spacers. They're so tiny and light. And this one here gets a couple too. And then we just remove our backing. And you can color, go ahead and color the inside of your card too. I just spare you watching me coloring those in. You can do this in your own time at home. You know the drill. And you can see the colors I used in the still shot. I will show them to you in a second if you have the same ones at home and you want to use the same coloring scheme. All right, this looks good. Here's the other little guy. And then our little envelope. I just stamped, so you need to cut this out. We put a little bit adhesive on this one here too. And then we go ahead and do the fine tuning. All right. Here's our little envelope. Okay. Then you need a black pen. And all I did was I went around the edge here. Whoops. I think I need a new one. This one is done. All right. Yeah, they do dry, or at one point they're too old. They're dried up. And here we have it. You can use a ruler if you need to, but I just do it freehand. And then I use the pencil to do a few little faux stitching. On those little squares. And you can do this before you adhere them, but that way you don't have to do the entire piece, just where it shows. And not the whole thing. Alrighty, a few dots. this little cute card is done. So like I said, the inside you want to color in using the same pencils, and I did do this with a black pen as well. And the colors I used today were Hawthorn Brown, Woodland Green, Poppy Red, Chestnut Brown, and Azalea. And then this is an old red shimmer pen. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and I will see you back here next week with another one. Otherwise, happy crafting and see you soon. Thanks for watching.